we empower women and girls to exit poverty for good through access to education, mentoring, skills, opportunity, and networks. We work with local organizations, so we don't deliver the work ourselves. We help them to be stronger through a lot of dialogue, training, etc. And we also finance a lot of the programs that we co-produce with them.
Welcome back to Grow Healthy, Help People, a podcast interviewing, talking with great nonprofit leaders around the world. Today we're talking with Carmen with Wonder Foundation. Carmen, how's your morning going?
It's going very busy, back-to-back meetings, running from one to the other, but good.
Yeah, and so I'm in the US and you're calling in from where?
I'm calling from London, actually from Brixton in London.
Okay, so it's not morning there anymore. It's midday, right?
It's about 2:00, yes.
Yeah, that's great. As you and I've talked a little bit, you mentioned that you are born in Spain, but have been in London for the better part of 40 years. Is that right?
Yes, a whole life, yes.
That's
I was
great.
born in Spain. I came here when I was very young, yeah.
So did you do most of your education in London or in the UK?
No, I finished my school in Spain. I was a bit advanced, and then I came to university here. I came to learn English. I thought I knew English, but I realized I didn't know anything when I landed.
Yeah.
So I had to spend a year learning English and then go to university and then my master's and then, yes.
And you went to Queen Mary University, is that correct?
Queen Mary College, which is part of London University, Queen Mary and Westfield College, yeah. And then I went to the London School of Economics to do a master's in economics. Yeah.
In economics. Okay,
Yes.
great. I'm excited to talk with you. You know, the organization Wonder Foundation reaches across the world. So some nonprofits are very local. Some even only reach one neighborhood within a city, and that's where their whole program, their whole focus is there. You guys have a very broad impact across the world. Tell us a little bit of an overview of what Wonder Foundation does, and then we'll get back into some of your history.
So what we say that we do is that we empower women and girls to exit poverty for good through access to education, mentoring, skills, opportunity, and networks. This is what we do. We work with local organizations, so we don't deliver the work ourselves. Yeah, we find local institutions that work with women and girls that fit this profile. We support the institutions, we help them to be stronger through a lot of dialogue, training, etc. And we also finance a lot of the programs that we co-produce with them.
That's great. So all the work you do is focused on poverty elimination for women or raising up women to come out of poverty. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
That's great. So where did your passion, your personal passion come from for this work?
Well, I always tell the same story, but when I was very little, I was 7, and in my school we had exams all the time, and I remember I failed an exam, and I told my mother, I think this is really unfair that I failed the exam. I mean, 7-year-old, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And my mother said, yes, life is unfair because there are so many girls who are cleverer than you, they work harder than you, and they will never even do an exam because they don't go to school. And I could not understand. It was like, what? There are people that don't go to school. What do they do all day? Why don't they go to school? So I was very little and I forgot, this was a conversation that went to the back of my head. As I became older and I came to the UK to study, and I was living in a very poor neighborhood, like students, and I was also going to a very good university, and I could see, this huge, we are in the same city, people die to come to London. They think the streets of London are bathed in gold. I suppose it's a bit like the American dream. But actually, they get stuck in this neighborhood and they can never access anything. So this whole conversation with my mom came back to me, and I started getting involved in community groups, in my parish, first of all, in the church. I ran a homework group for Bengali children, that there was a settlement of Bengali, they were not Christian, but we just helped them. And then different things, and this grew, and I just thought, helping someone to come out of poverty is not simple. It's very difficult. I looked at my life. I have the best education, the best parents, the very best family. I mean, I've been very blessed, and I am not a millionaire. So why would I expect someone else just because I sent 10 pounds to India to buy a cow? It's not so simple. And what I could see around me was a very simplistic way to explain charity. And it is, first of all, it's not simple at all. It's very complicated because each human being is totally different. And it's not about lack of access to education or even lack of money. It's also lack of networks and opportunities. What I discovered working in those neighborhoods for a long time, 30 years before I started Wonder, or 25 years, is that people are very isolated. You are in London, living in one of these neighborhoods, and you can be very clever, go to college, get a very good degree, and end up working in McDonald's, earning nothing. Someone else from a wealthier neighborhood, half as clever and half as hardworking than you, will end up working in a bank and making 100 times more money than you.
Yeah. Yeah. So your journey from school, from university to starting Wonder, were you continuing to work in the nonprofit space, or did you have other jobs for those 20 or 25 years?
I actually didn't. I was living in a halls of residence run by a charity for women. It was an educational charity, and they asked me to be the manager of the hall of residence when I finish. And it was very easy. It allowed me, I had enough money to live, and I thought, why not? I can help girls here, women, students, and also I can continue doing my non-profit thing alongside, yeah, and involving the students in that non-profit work. I was very conscious that our students, like me, were going to the best universities in the world, some of the best, and we were living in that very poor neighborhood, and I thought we have to make an impact here. Okay, when we go back to our countries, we will make an impact. But even now, this neighborhood has to know we are here. So yeah, I started working there, and then I was there for 25 years, and running the halls of residence. One thing leads to another. We were very busy. It was very money. It was very badly financially set up, and I was very young, so it took me a while to understand how we could make it sustainable and good. And I worked like crazy all hours of the day, but I loved it.
So
Yeah.
you've been serving women in one way or the other and helping them be seen and succeed for
Mm.
40 years, for a long time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what prompted you to begin Wonder Foundation?
So it was actually, well, this idea I had in my head, no, is why is the world, I mean, how can we make the world a little bit less unfair? And also, it was the idea that, when I was living in the halls of residence, I made very good friends with people from Pakistan, India, girls from different religions, different backgrounds. To me, it was so exciting because we had so much in common. And I thought, this is beautiful. And then as they went back to their countries, they started collaborating with charities because they had lived that in the UK. Yeah, we had all been doing projects in the neighborhood, so they had that passion as well. And then we started supporting each other. Okay, I need money because the charity I'm involved with needs this and that. So we would all raise money, send it. And then I said, I have a group of students. I would like them to volunteer in a different country. They organized this. I went with the students. And after a while, I thought we need to formalize this because no one is doing what we are doing, which is actually really helping each of the women and girls in our projects, you've just said it, Shar, to feel seen and to make sure they understand that they matter. Because it is only then that you can take control of your life. if you have to understand, no matter how poor you are or how ignorant you think you are, you are not here by chance. You matter. And you have a huge influence in others and in your own life. Yeah,
And if they don't believe that, it's hard for them to ever imagine anyone else believing that. So they have to
totally.
start with their understanding of themselves and their value.
Yes, yes. And
That's
this
great.
is what Wonder does different.
Okay.
Because every single woman and girl that comes to our projects receives a really personalized support that normally takes happens through mentoring. And we have a very specific way to train our mentors and to conduct that mentoring across 5 pillars so that the growth is sustained, which is family stability, personal well-being, economic independence, education, and finance capabilities. So this program, by the way, is American. Is an American charity which is fantastic called Economic Mobility Pathways, EMPATH. And we are, I think, the first charity that has taken their model and adopted and adapted to all those countries. Changed things, but kept the essentials.
That's great. So Wonder Foundation began focusing on impacting not just your where you lived in London, just not just your neighborhood, but did you immediately get into, across the world? You're with 36 organizations now, many countries, or how did that growth happen from starting the foundation until now?
So maybe when we started the foundation officially, which was 13 years ago, we started working with 4 or 5 organizations, that we had been supporting actively, informally for all those years. In the Philippines, in Kenya, in Mexico, which funnily enough, we are not supporting so much now, and in Poland, because they had a lot of, had just come out of communism, and in the UK, our local projects here. We started like that, and then little by little, we started growing and improving the way that we work across different countries. We normally work with organizations that we know very well, so they are referred by one of the other organizations in the network. And we, of course, have a compliance, a way to assess whether they are okay or not. But also, we have to know the leadership very well, and we have to go there, and we have to see it has to click. There is the compliance and the legal ways and the tick boxes, but also there has to be the human element, because we are very much about relationships. We believe that is what saves the world. So, yeah.
I love that. So you guys are working through organizations, through mentorships, following a process that you have used and trusted for a long time. So tell me about the impacts today. How many women, girls are in the programs? How many countries? Tell me about the impact today.
So I have just finished more or less putting the narrative for our annual report, actually, and this year we have supported 20 countries, 24 partners this year, 20,000 women and girls, probably around 100,000 others indirect beneficiaries. And to date, direct beneficiaries, direct women and girls supported by our programs, is 185,000 in the last 13 years. We are super good at counting and surveys, and we meet with our partners once a month, like this, in a meeting. So we have a very good grasp of what happens really. We do a lot of evaluation. So I think that, other charities do more, but the thing is, we are very, very interested in the fact that is the quality of what we do. And in a sense, of course, the quality of the skills training, the quality of the programs that we offer, educational programs, and the quality of the mentoring. And it may seem easy, but it's difficult. It's very difficult to make sure that the quality is maintained because a lot of the time the mentors are volunteers.
Yeah,
So you are also
I
working
like
with
that.
that.
I like it when a nonprofit organization runs with excellence in the sense that they don't just take numbers that someone says, they
Mm,
verify those numbers. They don't
yes,
just assume the programs are running right, they verify the programs are running right.
yes,
And that also builds donor confidence, as you know. If
yes.
donors trust the numbers, they're much more likely to continue supporting the organization.
Mm.
So I understood you mentioned earlier that you guys do send funding and fund some of these programs. Where does the funding come from, and what does that look like as you're funding these programs around the world?
Yes, so the funding comes from generous people.
Hmm.
Actually, I didn't say this before, but one of the things that motivated me to start Wonder is that I have always been very prone to give money. Maybe I am the eldest of 9 children, and you had to share whether you like it or not. There was no way you could get away without sharing. But I found that it was super liberating, and I found that in my life, normally people who have a lot are so afraid of not having that they are unable to share. So actually, part of the reason I started Wonder was to support people to share confidently and to give. So the money comes from a lot. At the beginning, it was all my friends that when they saw me coming, they ran away because I was going to ask them for money. No, but quickly we established very good relationships with corporates, different institutions. Yes, corporate funding. We have individual corporate fundings, trust and foundations that we ask for support, and also government. The first years of Wonder, in fact, our first big tranche of money, it was £100,000, and it was a lot of money, was given to us by the EU. But we left the EU, England has run away, so we lost a lot of funding, which was a moment of crisis. What are we going to do? Because the majority of funding came from that. And then we realized that when one door closes, a window opens, and we started getting more funding from, the sources I have just said. So,
That's great. So in you're a registered charity
mhm.
in England,
Yes, in the
UK,
UK.
in the UK, and in tell I don't know a whole lot about how NGOs work in the UK. I work with hundreds. I mean, I'm very experienced in the nonprofit space in America. In the UK, you're able to raise funds just the same way from anybody, and they get some sort of tax benefit or tax credit for from donating.
The UK has a great system because if you are a registered charity and you register for gift aid is with the tax people, which is a very easy process. Yeah, I mean, it's charities always complain, but if they had worked in other countries, they would realize we have it so easy here. Yeah, in the UK, we are very pragmatic. So basically, when you donate to me, say you want to donate £100 to me, you give me £100, and the government gives me 25. The process of claiming those £25 is so simple. You cannot imagine. And there is a lot of trust there. Yeah, because there are no yearly, I mean, we have to audit our accounts, but the government doesn't enter into that to see. That's number one. Number two, if you are a high taxpayer, so if you earn more than maybe £60,000 a year, and
Yeah.
you give me £100, I get £100, I get £25 from the government, and you get £20 from the government. So the tax that so
Is
is all.
offset by what the government gives for that.
So basically, I mean, you will never get more money in tax benefits than what you give. You still have to be generous, but being generous is facilitated, I think, by the system.
That's brilliant.
It
I wish
is
we did
very
that here.
good. Please,
Yeah.
God, let it stay like
Yeah.
this.
You're thinking, don't anybody bring this up. Leave it the way it is. That's
Mhm.
fascinating. Yeah, so I was looking at your website. If someone wanted to get involved in what Wonder Foundation is doing, what's the best way for them to get involved?
Oh, they can get involved in many ways. One way, of course, and the best way I think is raising money for us or giving us money. It's very simple. And in the America, we are part of Global Giving. I don't know if you know Global Giving is so Global Giving is a huge platform that supports charities to donate. And the thing is, for us, that American charities and other charities. So, for instance, if you wanted to donate to me as an American taxpayer, you will donate to me through Global Giving. So, Global Giving will you will be able to recover the tax because Global Giving is a charity. Global Giving sends me the money, and maybe they charge me, I don't know, a little percentage, but the percentage they charge me is less than what it would cost me to be registered in America. I have done all the study. So it's very easy. That's number one. Number two, you can volunteer for us. And we have hundreds of volunteer opportunities. I mean, like, we always need to bring our SEO up to scratch, Now with the artificial intelligence, we have to appear in all those platforms. So that is a lot of work because we have to check our publications, our blogs, make sure that all the links are working with each other, The amount of tasks we have is enormous. Checking translations, checking documents, verifying the information we put out there to make sure it makes sense for someone else. So we have hundreds, and then you could,
There's a lot
millions
of
of
ways to get involved.
opportunities.
So
Yes.
global giving, that the international way to give, how would people find that? Can they find that on your website?
I hope so, but it's
Okay.
a good question. I hope
Okay. Well,
so.
if not, if someone wants to donate, particularly from the U.S. or another country, they can at least reach out to you and you can give them that
Definitely.
information. Yeah.
Carmen at Wonder Foundation or contact at wonderfoundation.org.uk. We have emails in our website. Please do reach out and also, connect through LinkedIn and all these
That's
things. It's
great.
always good.
And as Carmen was mentioning, you can kind of understand it for people that are watching this podcast, the back office work of nonprofits. There's a lot of moving pieces. How does money get from point A to point B? How do we run the reports, verify data?
Yeah.
How do we know that all of our donors are getting the receipts that they need to be getting, particularly in the U.S.?
Yes.
You got those receipts are very important.
Yes.
Accordis, our company, we do all of that type of work, Carmen, in the back office. And so if you're watching this podcast and you're interested in maybe what Accordis, our company, does, reach out to us. At the end of this podcast, we'll put a link to Wonder Foundation as well as to Accordis, our company. Carmen would love to talk with you. I would love to talk with you if you need help in the back office support side of things. Carmen, one last question. Where do you hope to see Wonder Foundation in 5 years?
Wow, I would like to see our mentoring program being taken over by other people as well, so that we have reached a moment where we have systematized as well as possible, because you will always have to adopt it, and we are seen as the experts, as a reference organization on mentoring in development sector or areas. I want to say something before we finish, and it's about the back office. We are all about the back office, and you are right. It's hard work. And I always say, if you are a charity, just to exist, even if you didn't do anything, you would need 3 people just to do all the filing, all the things, let alone social media. So yes, I think the service that you offer is excellent, and it will help a lot of people for sure, especially if they are beginning, because it's a whole new world of things. We are very lucky because we have a great person in my team that is the opposite of me, and she's so methodical and wonderful. And you have to have this diverse team of people that with so many talents. So
You're
I am
exactly
very,
right.
very lucky. Yes.
I'm glad you have the right person there.
Yes.
Carmen, so nice to talk to you today. Hope you have a great day and best wishes, best of luck with Wonder Foundation.
And thank you very much for this opportunity, and greetings from the UK to everybody.
Okay, have a good day. Blessings.
Bye.